Welcome to today's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Robert Cobleigh, President of PPAC Capital. Thanks, Rob, for joining me, man.
Jess, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to having this chat with you.
No, absolutely. So, for those people watching, you might think that Rob has a pre-recorded background because of how beautiful it is. However, it's live.
Oh, no. This is all virtual.
That is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, if that boat goes by in another 30 seconds, I guess we'll put you to the test on that one.
Well, it's funny. There's a lot of boating activity today, but I was really trying to make the fireside chat being the focus here, and the fire is going. So, in your honor,
it is going. It is, and I have a little distraction just in full transparency on my end, and I'm gonna get this guy a little screen time.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That is too cute. That's too cute.
Our new addition to the family, Smoking Gizmo. Say hi, buddy.
No. What's up, Gizmo?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's had enough. He's had enough. But anyhow,
well,
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Doesn't take much for a kitten. They'll get tired. Gizmo will go curl up in the corner by the fire in a moment. So.
As long as he doesn't go hide underneath one of these chairs here and then I forget he's there, because
right.
It's not going to be good.
That's funny.
But, thanks again, Rob, for joining me. And for those people in equipment finance who might not be familiar with you, do you mind just introducing yourself and your career in equipment finance?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Robert Cobleigh. I'm the president of PPAC Capital Equipment Finance. We are a subsidiary of PPAC Gladstone Bank. It's a $6 billion boutique bank in northern New Jersey. The exciting thing about PPAC Gladstone this year is we're celebrating our 100-year anniversary. The bank was formed in 1921. So there's a big year for PPAC Gladstone Bank, and certainly a big year for us at PPAC Gladstone, PPAC Capital, as we've just passed our 4-year anniversary in April from when we started up. So lots of exciting times for all of us.
And then, before PPAC, where were you at before? Like, what got you into equipment finance?
Yeah.
I mean, as I talk to a lot of people on here, they're like, well, there's no college curriculum for this. You almost fall into it.
No, there isn't. You do kind of, but I'll tell you the way it went for me. I was finding my way through college, and as anybody does, trying to say, well, where are my interests really going to lie? I had an interest in finance, but I have an older cousin, Andy LaStella, who was really headed up asset management back in the day, in the 80s. This was Manny Hanny Leasing, CIT. And I remember going to Andy's office in the skyscrapers of Park Avenue, New York. And there he was back in the day, smoking a cigar, the feet are up on the desk. And he's negotiating a large aircraft engine and aircraft lease financing. And the whole concept to me back then was just mind-boggling. Like, wow, you actually own those assets. And, if something happens with that borrower lessee, you're the one who's got to put something to work on that. And to me, that was even more interesting than investment banking, quite honestly. More entrepreneurial, just fascinating that you had to get a gain of an understanding of, the industry, the market, the assets, and what to do with them and how to employ them, remarket them, or otherwise in various events. And that's what's so dynamic about equipment finance. And that's what drew me into it. So got my undergrad in finance, started in a bank credit program that they had back in the day. It was with the United Jersey Bank. It was about a 2-year program. And I came out of that and started with UJB Leasing Corporation, sitting right next to Anthony Sasso, now the president of TD Bank Leasing. And Anthony and I are great friends to this day. We were at each other's weddings as young men.
Okay.
Worked together side by side for 7 or 8 years. And then time goes on, and Anthony stayed there for some time, and UJB became Summit Bank, became Fleet Bank, became Bank of America. I had gone on from there to Deutsche Bank, Deutsche Credit Corporation, gone on to some private company financing as a treasurer of a commodity company for a small period of time, and helped to tee that up for a sale, and did so. And after that, got back into equipment finance, so to speak, through Volvo Finance North America, which was the captive finance company for Volvo cars. And I think that you want to learn about how economies residuals are impacted by economies. Get into the automotive finance business, because think back in 2000, through 2099 through 2003, 4, for those of us who can remember that, and how the automotive manufacturers are pumping out cars, and it came to a crash, and you get to see what the residual impact there, and you get to understand that they basically cannibalize the value of their own assets. Great place to work, great company to work with. In fact, I'd say it's in the top 3 that I've worked with in my career. And good things come to an end. Went on to Siemens Financial Services, got to work with Bill Zadrozny, Bob Anderson, Rich Johnston, who is, runs our syndications and buy desk today. We met back then in 2003. We've been friends and colleagues ever since. 6 or 7 years there, go to RBS in the structured products team in Park Avenue in New York. Another great experience. I'm working with RBS through not only structured products, but then I got into business aviation finance, various deals. And then from there on to, Bank of Tokyo, Santander, and then an opportunity like PPAC Capital comes along, many years later. And I've always had an entrepreneurial side to me. And you don't always get the opportunity to start something groundbreaking and move from what has been a career in credit, or on the credit side of the house, to
Right.
The dark side and run the business, as they say. And I say that in all joking, right? It's been a great opportunity, and it's been a great run. We couldn't have asked for a better management team here at PPAC Gladstone Bank. I think they also have an entrepreneurial spirit as far as how you do what you do. And they did their homework in equipment finance and saw the value in it. And that's how we have, led us to where we are today.
No, and thank you for that background there. And obviously, I've met you in the past, but 2 years ago, we were kind of going through this like dating process of selling you an Aspire platform at that time. It was one of those things where I got to meet Denny for the first time. I got to interact with people at the bank, and it was one of those things where it kind of made that vendor customer relationship a lot. It was easy, and
Yeah,
you had a great organization.
Thank you. And Denny Smith's our COO, and we're a small but mighty team of 12 or 13 at this point in time. I have to say that when you and I met, you were on another side, but the JDR team, they've been an integral part of our success since day one. And it even ties into the COO of the bank, Bob Plant, who worked at CIT and worked with JDR very closely for some time. That relationship goes back to the mid '90s, and the folks at JDR are just outstanding at how they do what they do, and it's how we've gotten to grow to where we are today. They are a true integral partner.
Thank you. And
yeah.
Obviously there's reasons why I went to JDR. I mean, the relationship they have with you guys is very similar to what they have with all their customers. And, that's something that you can put your own personal brand behind, because their customers mean the world to them. And, that's as you guys grow, and that was going to be my next question. So 4 years.
Yep.
It took you what, 2 years or 3 years to crack the Monitor 100 from a volume perspective?
I think it was three. We started ground zero in April of 17. I don't think that's the same boat, by the way, that went by earlier. So,
No, it went the other direction. So
Oh,
unless
it
you
did.
just
Okay.
flipped your mirror on your screen. So yeah, no.
No. Okay. Yeah, April 2017 started, no systems, no policies, procedures, no portfolio. Ended the year with 180 million portfolio, have grown it to the end of last year at just over 750 million. Cracked the Monitor into the Monitor 100, in the top 100. Yeah, it was in the third year. So see where we shake out now. It's been quite a trajectory.
So in regards to starting something from scratch, let's touch on that real quick.
Okay.
Blessing and a curse. I mean, you have no policies and procedures, and you're like, okay, well, you've been doing this for 20 years. Like, tell us. And I've been through this. So it's one of those things where on the other side of when you're implementing a system, it's like, okay, there's no conversion, but what do we do? So if you could just talk through that real quick.
Well,
like pros, cons, like lessons learned.
Yeah. As far as our situation, look, we're a bank leasing company, all right? That's what we are. And our team has, worked at captives or bank lessors for our careers. And our team, small but mighty, most people have experience of 20 years, many of 30 years or more. And that's a key to the whole thing. So not just the years of experience, but the way we work together, the experience that we've had at other institutions. So when it comes together to go and start something like this, and you've got that group together, it's kind of a natural flow. Like we know exactly what the lane is and what the breadth is and how we want to do what we do here in order to grow a bank leasing company. So it felt pretty natural from that standpoint. As much as there's a ton of personal and institutional knowledge there that helps you just get down and sit around the table and every day there in your first year and say, okay, how do we set this down? And down to how do we want our systems to track assets, industries? What do we want that to look like? What are the best practices that we've seen through our collective careers, and how do we put them to work right now? And that's what we had the opportunity to do, and that's what we've done.
No, and that's fantastic. So, let's talk last year. So you hit your stride, right? I mean, you're still going. I mean, it's not like it's plateau.
Not dead yet.
But then, like, you keep going up. You're doing all this stuff, and then the pandemic happens. Like, what did that do to your team? I know some people are in different states, but you guys are in Jersey.
Yeah.
What did that do? I mean, from a commute perspective, I'm sure it was a little bit of a dream. I mean, I lived in Jersey. I commuted there. I would have gladly just taken the walk down the hallway. But
hey, look, it's, you look back on it now and it's a little surreal, right? The way it all evolved. And I'm really happy about where we are today. And I'm very happy about the hope that's on the horizon. But as far as back then when it hit, a little bit mixed. I think because our team pretty much worked at larger institutions and had very much worked in multiple office locations, the concept of working remotely was not foreign to us at all. Many of us had worked from home from time to time as it was. The key to our success, the IT department at the bank. Honestly, they're probably the best IT group that we've ever collectively can reflect on and say, oh my God, the way they set us up. Great equipment, great systems, unbelievable connectivity. And that made it all easy, so to speak. We took our hardware, we took it home, and we kept going to work. So we continued to do what we did day in, day out. certainly certainly harder because you can't walk down the hall or around the corner. And I think what I found was interesting is, how to use Zoom versus how to use Teams in different ways. Zoom is much more using a link, and it's great with multiple participants. At least it's evolved over time, obviously, but think back to then versus Teams. Teams was the perfect product to be able to, and I did pretty frequently, just dial somebody as if you're walking down the hall and you're passing an office door to say, how are you? And that was really important for all of us. And I encouraged all of us to do that in the early part and even to this day. So, everybody had to adapt and adopt technology to their own culture and their workflow in different ways.
So what do you see in regards to, I'm knowing New Jersey, I'm sure they're not open. I saw where the Jets and Giants are going to have full stadiums coming up. So that'll be interesting.
And so will the Devils, which is great. I guess I didn't hit on the fact that from our team perspective, you're right. We're headquartered in Bedminster, New Jersey, but we also have people in Northborough, Massachusetts, as well as Atlanta, Georgia. And so because of the way we're spread out, it still didn't stop us from doing what we're doing and using that technology along the way. As far as opening up, it's funny. It's come to tomorrow is the first day that we will, because of the changes in CDC and the state, enter the workforce or enter the workplace, still in a limited capacity. We're rolling that out as a bank, and we're allowing people to get comfortable with this whole thing. You got to get comfortable with the rollout, but there's no masks really required anymore. And we're maintaining social distancing. We're respecting everybody's comfort with masks or not masks. You have to do that. And we're doing that. We're getting back to the office. We're rolling it out. And it's all happening, and it's happening for us in ways that I think as everybody in the area just gets more comfortable just getting to McDonald's without a mask, that's the litmus test for me. I'm sorry. The minute the average American go to a McDonald's without a mask and order their Big Mac, I think that's when everybody's kind of comfortable, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, Arizona's been open for about 8 weeks now, and you go into these different places like a Dave and Buster's or like a Fat Cats, which is like one of those, but for younger kids. And it was almost weird. It was like surreal. This place opened up in April, like maybe 6 weeks ago, and you walked in there and there's 500 people just carrying on, no mask whatsoever. And you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, well, it's an adjustment. It's gonna be an adjustment, and we, catch yourself, catch your breath, and move forward. And I got to travel to Colorado earlier in April for christening, and I got to understand a little bit more just as you travel the differences in the area of the country of how people feel about that. Look, I live in one of the most densely populated areas in the nation. It's a different impact. And nobody in Arizona or Colorado or Wyoming can appreciate that the same way. And that's just the way it is. It's not meant in a disparaging way. It's the truth.
It's different. I mean, I lived in the Northeast for the first, I don't even know. I've been out here 11 years, almost 30 years of my life in the Northeast. And it's like I come out here and no offense to New Jersey, it's a great state. I'm not going back. I love Arizona.
No, it's okay. Arizona is a beautiful place.
However, I don't love it now because it's getting hot.
Right.
So that's not going to be fun.
No.
But
I'll see you in November.
I guess
maybe.
In regards to yeah, right. Everyone wants to come here when it's the good season for them, not for me. Right. But no, thank you for sharing that experience. I mean, because I remember we were kind of going through the sales process, right?
Yeah.
Like we were able to, do a lot of our discussions. I mean, we met at a conference that hasn't happened in 2 years. You came to a user group, which hasn't happened in 2 years. and you sit there as someone who's been a salesperson in the industry for the last, I want to say August made 16 years of me being in equipment finance, like not being afforded that opportunity to actually meet people like yourself and develop that relationship. That was kind of tough. So,
I think it's
you
really
know,
difficult. It's certainly difficult on various levels, right? I think that within the industry, the equipment finance industry, the various partners, friendly competitors, we've worked with each other so well for so many years. That bond doesn't change. I mean, it makes it a little different because we can't visit each other and get to see the face to face as much. But you know what? You can pick up a phone and it's like you were with them yesterday. So that's what's so special about this industry.
Or you do stuff like this, it's like a virtual happy hour. You just have to dedicate the time a little bit. And that's one of the things where, as I reach out to people and I'm like, hey, do you have any interest in doing one of these things? It seems like people are just like, absolutely. And then maybe you record for 25 minutes and then you're on a Zoom for the following like 40, just having some fun and catching up. And that's what I like, the fact that this, this affords us that platform.
All right, I'm gonna share another pet with you if you don't mind. So
Maggie
over here is not my dog. Maggie is what we call the island dog. It's my neighbor's dog, and Maggie comes by as a golden lab, and she just comes by and she'll hang out with me. She's the best. She's an awesome pet, right, Mag? Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
As long as her tail didn't go in that fire pit, man, that would have been.
No, she's a smart old dog.
So what I've been asking everyone, Rob, when they're on here is a little fun fact about yourself, if you don't mind sharing.
I guess the fun fact that I'd say is that here's one. I have a huge love for music, and had developed, obviously as a younger man, but I worked in a record store for a few years during and after high school. I have an appreciation for rock, jazz, classical, you name it. I've gone to see concerts that I've seen, Pavarotti. I've seen Al Di Meola and Papa DeLucia. I've seen AC/DC. I have seen more concerts. It's a variety. I just have a broad love and variety for music. I still have over 800 vinyl albums in the house, some of which I really got to get through because I'm sure some are very collectible. I know I've got something like Talking Heads, Speaking in Tongues, clear vinyl, still wrapped, only 2,500 units shipped. So
oh wow,
it's kind of interesting. I have Pink Floyd Animals on pink vinyl. I have Michael Jackson picture discs. I have everything all over the place. But I really do enjoy music, and I enjoy going to concerts. I enjoy high fidelity, and the times in the record store were some of the best in my life. That's for sure.
Excellent. I did not know that about you. Now I know, and I am looking forward to actually being at a concert again. That will be fantastic.
So, I get a text at work yesterday from a friend of mine. We've been friends since 7th grade. And John says, I just got third row center for Steely Dan and Steve Woodward at the PNC Arts Center. And I got 2 tickets. I thought of you. Do you want to come? And I said, I haven't seen you in a year because of COVID. I'm going. I don't care what the price of the ticket is. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that does, because I know some of those concerts, those tickets were so pricey. And now I don't know, fast forward 18 months, and is that still the case? Or are people hesitant? Or the price is going to go up even more because people are so antsy to just get out?
Yeah, well, there's that, and even when you buy them right out of Ticketmaster, these were still $260. And it's part of the artist.
$500 in fees.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was a $20 ticket with $200 in fees, to tell you the truth. Thank you, Ticketmaster.
Come on.
Hey, look, it's an outdoor concert setting. It's going to be great. It's one of the best venues I've been to before, so I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? We all have to get together with our old friends, whether it's in the industry or in our childhood, and it's really important.
Absolutely.
I'm looking
No,
forward to it.
no, absolutely. And then I guess just kind of in closing here, Rob, I've been asking everyone, of all the businesses in equipment finance, why should people do business with you and your team at PPAC Capital?
I didn't get to hit on that enough. And, while I talked about the years of experience, I've mentioned the small but mighty. It's that, it is that small but mighty, and all of that that comes together. Our team, our credit team, our sales team, our views and experience give us the ability to pretty quickly vet an opportunity. And we're able to get through on some credits, to be able to really get through, what's the actual risk versus the perceived risks, and how do we get this done? And because of that group of people, and because of those views, we get down to it very quickly. I think we give positive, good feedback to our partners and sources very quickly. We have various finance structuring solutions to develop because of that in short order. And we know how to make it happen as a result of that. And we deliver. When I or my team say we can get this done, we get this done. And I remember in the early days, certain people saying to me, "You're kidding me." And I'm like, "No, I can do that for, $15 million. And let's just give me the opportunity." And it's that we make it happen. We develop really strong, meaningful, lasting relationships. And it's a great group of people to work with. So.
And I can attest to that in my years of working with you, and look forward to several more years of our partnership, Rob.
So do I.
But, and congratulations again to the bank on 100 years, and to your company of 4 years. I mean, Monitor 100. I think you were in the 90 range, if my memory serves me. You'll be in top 50. Give you another 3 years or so.
60 if I'm right, but we'll see.
Oh my God! Did I really miss it by 30? Okay, that's embarrassing. Maybe I go back and edit that, but I really don't edit a lot of this. But whatever, I make mistakes. That's a pretty big one.
That's okay.
Maybe I didn't have enough of this smoky old fashioned here, then I would have actually remembered the number.
Yes, you got the top 100 right.
Cheers, Rob. I appreciate your time, sir, and look forward to seeing you. I don't know. I think probably August. But
I'm hoping, right? Or if we pull together this CARES effort that you're working on, do you want to talk about that for a bit, or?
Yeah, so Sean Arnone was gracious enough to donate the Rockland County Country Club for our next Equipment Finance CARES event, which will be on Tuesday, August 17th in the afternoon. And it'll be fantastic. And maybe I can see what I can figure out to get Mr. Cobleigh here on the funding source panel as a industry thought leader.
I would love to participate. And Sean and I, talk about, it's an incestuous industry. We worked together at RBS for some time. So great guy. Looking forward to attending that and being part of it.
Absolutely. And thank you for reminding me to make sure I plug that.
I got your back, Jess.
What would I do? What would I do without people? All right, sir. Well, I appreciate your time, Rob. And thanks again for joining. And
no, Jesse, thank you so much for this opportunity, and salute, and here's to a great 21.
Absolutely, sir. Have a good one.
You too.